wasn't that big a deal. I didn't think it was that big a deal yesterday, but apparently, hey, when we're starving for NFL news, that Aaron Rodgers' deal with the Steelers is only for 1 year, right? Like this was first reported, and you saw it from Ian Rappaport. And potentially, we had heard today that maybe Rodgers was looking for a 2-year deal in the offseason. And, you don't know why the Steelers would say no, because if they really, obviously, they painted themselves into a corner. Not that, he's great or anything, but all right, they need him. So why would that happen? So maybe this looks like that Rodgers only wants to play 1 year. All right, so I could see that. I could see that. He might, this might be it, the final go-around for him as a Steeler. So how's it going to go, right? This is where we had the NBA Finals last night. Rodgers is signed. He's going to report to the Steelers next week. How is things going to go? Right now, the first thing I'm going to say is this, is that Rodgers is a Tim Tebow story where the impact overall of Aaron Rodgers, what we talk about and his impact on the NFL off the field, meaning what is talked about and discussed, is going to be greater than his impact on the field. Because that was always the thing with Tebow. Once he got to the NFL, the impact of Tebow, what we talked about off the field, how popular he was, that was way different from what he actually did on the field. Now, he did have that one
Except
great
beating
year.
the Steelers that time.
Yeah, throwing that touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas, who just kept running.
He gone.
That was Tim Tebow, right? We talked way too. We were not nearly proportional to what his impact on the field was, right? Tim Tebow was a celebrity. We talked about him more what we saw on the field. That's going to be the first thing. The talk about Aaron Rodgers is going to end up much more of an impact than what we see on the field from him. Because I'll tell you exactly how this season's going to go for him, right? I mentioned Tim Tebow. His season's going to go like Russell Wilson. Okay, he's going to finally find a way to get it again, being away from the team, going to familiarize himself with the players, whole new system that is not really Aaron Rodgers friendly, right? That's the one thing we know, that this is not a great fit, right? The Arthur Smith system, this is not a great fit. He does not do what Aaron Rodgers does well. Mike Tomlin is not the best head coach to bring in a gunslinger like Aaron Rodgers, right, who's going to spray the ball all over the field. So it's going to be a very rough fit. Will he have his moments? Yes. Rodgers will have his moments. He will, because he's still Aaron Rodgers, and there'll be once in a while where you see that gleam and go, man, that's the first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a top 5 quarterback all time. Maybe the second best quarterback I've seen the last 30 years. I see a glimmer of that. He is going to have his moments. But overall, you saw it last year with the Jets. It's not enough. All right, I'm willing to give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt for him health-wise, because clearly beginning of last year, he still wasn't healthy. He didn't really look like he was healthy-ish until the middle to late part of the season. But it still didn't matter. He still threw off his back foot way too much. He didn't have the arm strength he did. He's had way better weapons with the Jets than he's going to have here with the Steelers, right? He had Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Breece Hall with the Jets. Now it's going to be, okay, well, DK Metcalf and Swan and Stallworth and Harris and Blyer and all these guys.
Can he bring back all those other wide receivers that came through for Mike Tomlin until they didn't?
He'll rally a little bit, and he'll have some moments once in a while. But in the end, he's going to have a bad run like Russell Wilson did, and the Steelers are going to either have to decide whether we turn to somebody else or we know that we ride out this season and we move on in the offseason, right? We either turn to Mason Rudolph or we go to Will Howard if it looks like, hey, we want the rookie to give us a spark and he's picking up the NFL quicker than we thought. Mm-hmm. But that's how it will end with Aaron Rodgers and a debate in the late season by the Steelers to, are we going to stick with him the rest of the way, or do we know that it's just not working and we cut bait and we go to somebody else, which would be an embarrassing way for the season to end for Aaron Rodgers. But that's how it's going to be.
It's going to start good,
It's going to be very Russell Wilson-esque over the course of the year. He'll have his moments, but in the end, you're going to see overall, and maybe week 1. He might have some moments week 1 because it's the Jets. But overall, by the time we get to the Packers rematch in week 8, week 9, yeah, good luck. Good luck staying upright. Good luck being someone who is still moving the ball down the field. He's going to hit those Russell Wilson skids, and believe me, it's going to be, boy, is Aaron Rodgers really going to finish his career on the bench in Pittsburgh, or are they just going to stick with him to give him a way for him to go out before he retires in the offseason and moves on? That's how it's going to go for Rodgers.
Yeah, I was really surprised there wasn't an option on there, whether it be the team or the player, just so you had that bridge, because otherwise all you're doing is kicking your quarterback the proverbial can down the road another year, right? In the post-Ben Roethlisberger era of bringing guys in and going, well, maybe there's an opportunity and maybe this will be the guy. second chances or some of the rookies that they've drafted. None of it's played out. Their over-under total sat at 8.5. Well, the Rodgers signing was already baked in. So anybody that was expecting suddenly there to be big movement, no, the assumption was he was showing in. The only thing that would have happened is it would have gone down if he didn't arrive. And even by then, what was it going to go down? A game? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Steelers are a middling team. And maybe he overachieves, outperforms, what is it, a minus 120? So the implied odds are that you hit the 8.5 is 54%. Right? You're in a division that's difficult. Cleveland has a good roster, just questions at QB. Cincinnati and Baltimore, well, we assume they're better. And Cincinnati, I think the expectation is they don't give away a couple of games early in the season like they have in years past, that in September they actually come out slinging. So for Aaron Rodgers, look, he got better as the season went on, and you can decide how much you want to buy into top 10 this, top 10 that, quarterbacking and just slinging it. How much is empty calories and stats?
I just don't think on the field he moves the needle anymore, right? You know, it's almost like Aaron Rodgers is sort of like Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant's playing a little higher level where, Kevin Durant still gets his stats and his numbers, but what did we talk about earlier in the week? Like, he hasn't led anybody anywhere in 6 years. He hasn't made a team a playoff to made them better, made them an NBA championship contender since 2019, right? Like, he hasn't done that. That's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he had some stats last year at the end, but the season was over. It doesn't matter. Like, his stats were in games where they were against other teams that had nothing to play for. The Jets had nothing to play for. They just decided to let him throw the football. Like,
wing it around.
He's almost like KD, where you're going to see some numbers, but he's not going to turn you into an offensive team. That's why the impact of him off the field and how we talk about him in the conversation that drives television and radio is going to be bigger than the impact on the field.
Well, but that's it, right? When you go to the Kevin Durant, it became all about the squad. How many games do those guys actually play together? And 82 games is a bleeping long season. So to have impact, it's like, can I put him in a box until March and the other guys can actually carry things for a while and then he's playing meaningful basketball? No, it's not the way it works. Here, at least for 17 games, even going out with your Jets in game one, every game has some juice to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play in Dublin, all of these things along the way.
The attention is going to be there, but the impact on the field that's not
What do you got? You got DK Metcalf and Robert Woods.
Good luck.
Ageless.
Good luck.
Robert Woods.
Good luck.
Freiermuth. And maybe they can bring in Jonnu Smith. Is he showing up?
Well, let's see.
Because
remember,
remember,
it seems to change.
Because Aaron Rodgers is not running that offense.
Yeah. No.
Arthur Smith's offense the fact that he's there, it doesn't matter. He's running his own offense once he shows up.
I saw Donald Driver playing catch at the park.
Now that would be fun.
Robert Brooks was there too. Sure.
You know what else KD and Rodgers have in common?
What's that?
Linguini legs.
Oh, yeah.
Do not skip leg day. But I mean, Durant's had a nice.
Wait. Linguini.
Of course you would.
Good.
Pasta face.
You're going to start talking about Ratatouille while we're at it, too? Since Victor E. Rat is one of the
You would literally share
mascots.
a piece of pasta with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no.
Lady in the Tramp style.
No, the last couple of years, but now he's not my guy.
Well, now that he's not your guy, he sucks.
Now it's Justin Fields.
You were saying Super Bowl last year.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, but you know how he works with these guys.
Dude,
Sam Darnold, he was
You were
starting to
cold-blooded,
build.
Mo.
He was starting to build pasta bust like he was part of a Seinfeld episode, and then as soon as that guy went gone, he covered him with sauce and ate him.
Dude, I can turn the page on you in a second, man. I mean, I don't need that much. In a second. I could love you one day. You're the best, and the next day, wake up, boom. I don't know.
See what Michael Conforto did to him?
Sorry, I don't know
Broke
who you
him.
are.
He broke him.
Sorry, yeah. No, we had some good times, but yeah.
Juan
it's
Soto in that play in the outfield a few minutes ago, I thought his head was going to explode for that.
It's done.
Jason's brain skipping like the Soto shuffle.
It's done. It's done, yeah. But just yesterday. Yes, I know, but that was yesterday.
That was yesterday. We
Today
live in
is
a different world.
Today's
You're
a
going
different
all
day.
Sonny
Sorry.
Weaver, man. We live in a different world than we did 30 seconds ago.
Ready for a new job? Maybe that rookie GM in Jacksonville, Chris Carson, needs a new job. Let Express Employment Professionals help. While Express helps people in all industries find work, our sweet spot is logistics roles. And Express never charges job seekers a fee. Go to expresspros.com. Hey, it's Sonny. That was my backup pick. I don't know. What am I going to do?
Sound like a fantasy owner.
That was my
We
backup
have no
guy.
alter. Ah, man, he took my guy.
Man. Coming up next, hey, how about this on a fun Friday?
Okay.
there's been a